Hello, good evening, and a very warm welcome to Rangers Radio.
Hello, good evening and welcome to Rangers Radio. Join myself, Foxshire, on the show this evening as the King and Queen of Rangers Radio. Southside in London. How are we doing, boys and girls?
Evening, Southside. Evening, Oxshire. Evening to all the listeners. I hope you're keeping well.
Hi, good evening. Good to be on the Monday night with Linda. Good evening to you, Ox, and good evening to everyone listening in this evening.
Good to hear from you, big man. Good to hear from you. And by the way, this is a record, isn't it? Over 2 days, and I have not mentioned Southside Super 6.
Did it take you long now, did it?
No, I haven't mentioned it. How we doing, Linda?
Yes, I'm okay now, Ox. I wasn't very good after the game on Saturday, but I feel slightly better now. I certainly do.
I get it. Hinge with disappointment, because obviously you're saying to yourself, well, if we'd have won, if that would have happened yesterday, would have been 5 points clear. But you'll never be able to answer that question, Linda. That's the thing.
Yeah, you won't, Ox. No. And I think we've just got to be happy where we are. It wasn't brilliant, but I'm sure you'll go into that. But certainly, tinge of regret, but I feel a lot better than I did on Saturday.
Aye. And I'm sure we'll talk about some of the things that's happened in Scottish football, the disgraceful antics that's happening in Scottish football. Southside, we didn't start the game well, did we?
No, certainly not. No. Miles off it.
Aye. If I'm being honest, I was surprised that Raskin started, and I'm not want to blame just Raskin, because the whole team wasn't at it. But young McCausland, don't know if he wasn't comfortable in the left. I know he's played there, but he's not started there. And we just couldn't get any more stride. And then Linda, for an innocuous throw in, we lose a shot and goal. Good goal from Murrable's point of view. But John Suter, what a schoolboy, yeah.
I don't know what he was doing, Ox. He kind of runs towards the ball and the player, and he really kind of just dives right in, doesn't he? And the ball kind of breaks off the Motherwell player, or it might even have been Suter himself, and then the guy just crosses it, and the big guy, Bear, finished it well, Ox. And even before that, the Motherwell came out the traps, and the first 5 or 6 minutes, we hardly got out our own half. So I would agree with you. We never started very well, and we found it hard to recover from that, Ox, I think.
And they got the goal, and if you're honest, in the first 20 minutes, they were a better team. Maybe they'd play wanted at Southside. It maybe took us about half an hour to get going, Biggie.
Well, we played sort of 3 players out of position, Ox, to start with. We had Diamandi further up the park. We stuck a right back or a left back, but mostly a right back out wide right in midfield. And we had McCausland playing sort of left. And we've criticised managers for it before, like just putting players in, just to try and fill a position. So I just thought there was no cohesion in the squad. There was nothing in the midfield. I think it was a bit disjointed, and I think that's how Murrell had a bit of joy in that first good 25 minutes of the game. It took us a long way to settle into the game.
I'm glad you mentioned John McCausland, mate. And I don't want to be critical of the young lad. He's not been brilliant. He wasn't brilliant in the game on Saturday, but the game had just started. You can't judge somebody in the first 20 minutes of a game of football roughly. But I'll say this, I said it on Saturday, and I have spoken to the oracle of football wisdom, Mr. Albert, who has changed his mind. It was a red card all day long. Linda.
Definitely. Couldn't agree more. A red card. When you were at the game, it was where I was, it was right in front of me, and you could tell a mile away it was a red card. You could hear it. And I hope young Ross is all right. We'll get an update on that in due course. But it was a shocking tackle. We never even got a foul. It wasn't a yellow card either. They never gave anything. And I don't know why VAR doesn't have a look at it, or tell the referee to go and have a look at it. There's been similar challenges, like the manager said, that we've been players sent off for, and all we're looking for is a bit of consistency. But it was an absolute shocker of a challenge, Ox.
Outside.
Aye, it was a bad challenge, all right. Just hopefully the wee man's all right. It's one of the ones. I don't know why VAR didn't look at either, Linda. I was surprised. But they never. And the wee man, I think the manager said he get kicked off the park. But listen, his form's not been great the last couple of games, right? We get that. He's still a young boy, Ox. He's still trying to find his feet in that team. It's a big ask to keep playing the amount of games that he's played at the level that he's been playing at.
Aye.
So his form's going to dip at times. But hopefully he'll get a second win going forward once he comes back if the injury's not too bad. And we'll see him starting to sort of play a bit better again in a Rangers jersey. But I just think Sterling didn't work out there, mate, and at all, you know.
He wasn't great. Now, the point you make about young Ross is, look, I know there's boys in the team similar ages. There's a few now, but what happens is sometimes the confidence goes a wee bit, and then you maybe you're overthinking it. Football's an instinctive game, and he's got the instincts. And first of all, we hope he's all right. Yeah, I don't know. I believe he was in a boot after the game, so we'll see where that takes us. But that was the worst decision by a distance over the weekend, and it influenced that football match. It was a red card all day long, and the guy who done it scored the winner. No, we don't know. Murray couldn't do it to 10 men, and he could have still won the match. We'll never be able to answer that, but it would have been highly unlikely, and it would have favoured us. But we're not saying that because we lost the game. We're saying it because, Linda, it was a red card.
Yeah, absolutely, Ox. I didn't know that's the case about him coming out the stadium in a boot. You know, and you're right, young Ross, he's, I know there's players of similar ages, but he's not played a lot of what you would call senior football. You know, this is the first time he's really had a run of games like that. And you're right, he would probably have liked to maybe have taken him out the team at certain times. But even on Saturday, he had to play because we obviously, you know, found out the terrible news about Cortez as well. You know, in terms of, I think we knew he was going to miss the game, but the length of that injury. So he's had to probably play a lot more than our manager would have liked. But no, it's just, it's a red card all day long.
I've been told I have to rephrase. He was in a protective boot.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
No, I thought you were going to see, because I let him sit in the front seat, which putting him in the boot.
You know.
We knew what you meant.
Mr. Fox is living in 1971, and he lives in that. So boot was a different word then, Southside, you know. So my granddad. You know. Right, okay, so look, but after that, we bring on Silva, and we slowly get into the game. We're huffing and puffing. Dessers being Dessers, but we weren't creating a lot of chances. We started getting involved. I felt that Lundstrom was isolated at times. And I seen your point about Sterling. That's not his natural position, Southside.
No, it wasn't. Certainly never got much joy out there on the right-hand side at all for Sterling. But as you brought up Silva, what a sitter. 4, 5, 6 yards out. Unbelievable. See if that was CD9, the place would have been screaming at him. But Silva...
He's got to score, mate. He's got to score.
Come on, £35 million player here, and he can't just connect with that ball. You know what? I thought it was a set. I thought, here we go. Ball's in the net, and next minute I couldn't believe it when Kelly's got it in his arms. And you're thinking, wait a minute here, what happened there? I mean, absolute sitter.
Talking about Kelly's, do you agree with me they should be banned for Ibrox?
I did say that. What did I say? I said no.
Just leave it at that. Just leave it for that. I'm looking at all the small print. I'm trying to get my make sure that the show becomes Kelly's free. I'm trying my best. I'm trying my best. Right, right. So we huffed and puffed, and I agree with Southside. Silva's got to score. Yeah, he's got to score, Linda.
Yes, it is a sitter. I don't know what he's trying to do. He kind of he side foots it, And you just think, why is he not just like smashing that into the net? Try and put it either side of the goalie. I'm like Southside. We're looking right down that, and I couldn't believe that it didn't go in as well, Ox. It's a chance that you just have to put away.
So, he's got to turn his foot the other way, and put in control of these laces, and then put it in, you know.
Yeah.
But hopefully he'll learn from it. But so we get in at half time, we're 1 down, people are frustrated. We start the second half, we bring on Tom Lawrence. Again, Southside, I couldn't understand playing him deep. I don't get it. I didn't get it. That's not what you want him influencing the game, is it?
No. When I said to you, like, if we were starting him, we had to play the number 10 role. And then when he came on, he was sitting in with Lundstrom, and I'm thinking, oh, what's going on here? I thought Diamandi would have brought back in, and they'd have shoved him into the number 10 position, because he didn't really make a big, huge bit of difference when he came on. Ops. He wasn't getting on and influencing the game. So I don't know why.
They were running away from him.
Aye, listen, see, after about 70 odd minutes, some of the players out there looked tired, especially our midfield looked tired.
Okay.
Because we had been up the park at one point, and we gave the ball away, and they made 2 passes, and I looked, and there was Lundstrom, De Monte, I think Raskin was off at that time, and I think Lawrence was on. But they players were running by our players. We were walking back at one point. I think they genuinely looked tired, Ops.
Well, I'll tell you.
Apart from Lawrence, obviously, because he'd just come on, but Lundstrom and Diamandi.
I still think it looked tired. If you bring Lawrence on and you're not going to play him, you're not going to swap Diamandi, and you want to keep Diamandi only my position, I would have swapped Lawrence and Sterling run and put him in the wide right position. He's done it before in Eindhoven for us. At least he's in a forward area, and you're not expecting. And then you've got Sterling's pace in there to deal with the Brecker Murable. That's what I would have done, Linda. But hindsight's a wonderful thing.
No, I think that makes sense. I would agree with Southside that when they made the subs.
Just wait a minute. Big Phil, if you're listening, give me a phone any night, Monday to Friday, 0141 356 1972. Carry on, Linda.
I thought you might have been at the Armadillo last night to give him a few words of wisdom, Ox, but no, I would agree with what Southside said initially there, that why do you not just put Diamandi back and Lawrence in the number 10, as well, Ox, what you were saying there, because Lundstrom and Diamandi have been playing the last couple of games together. So I don't know, I didn't really get that either, but that's a good shout about putting Sterling back a bit, because it would have given us more legs in midfield. And I would also agree with the fact that I thought they did look tired, Docs.
Aye. I'll tell you, it didn't work with young Raskin came back in, and he was pretty anonymous outside. So it made sense to substitute him at half time, but Big Phil's done that with a lot of players. He has given them the minutes to try and build up, and obviously he'll know Raskin's state of fitness. So I don't want to be overcritical, but I thought he was anonymous in the first half.
There was a lot of them anonymous in the first half, to be honest. He's just back, and you're looking for him to try and go on the ball, make things happen, try and impress. And he didn't. I thought he chased in Harry, he won some balls back, I noticed, but he wasn't influential at all. He got minutes into him, and I think that was the main purpose of getting him on the park. I remember we spoke about it the night or two before it, and we said, you never know, when we picked the team, we thought probably Raskin might even turn up when he did. But he took him off at half time, obviously, and replaced him. But no, he never done enough on Saturday to say that he's back and we noticed him. So he'll have to improve with the chances he's going to get going forward, Docs. But overall, I think the team, it wasn't a great team performance. We created chances, we could have scored goals, but overall, I thought we were pretty passive, pretty slow in the build-up, and we looked lethargic in times.
We gets to half-time, the changes are made, and we starts huffing and puffing, and then we gets to about 50 minutes, 52 minutes or something like that. And then we, and I just want anybody who watches it again, take a look where the referee is and ask yourself, how does he not give that penalty kick? So he then gets the game stopped for VAR, and it must have took about 5 minutes, if no longer, Linda. Yeah.
Yeah, you're right, Ox, because it was, when you watched the highlights, obviously, at the game, you're thinking, even where I'm sitting, it looks a penalty, and it's the other side from me. And when I was watching the highlights back, in his view, was it Alan Muir, his name was, he's looking right at it. He's looking right at it. The Motherwell player, I think it was O'Donnell, slides in. There's actually two of them probably fouling him near enough at the same time. It's a stonewall penalty, and it's very, very concerning that he doesn't give that in real time.
Aye. So we get the penalty kick, and James Tavernier steps up and does what James Tavernier does most of the time. He puts it high into the corner of the net. Great penalty kick. By the way, I didn't think Tav was great on Saturday after all the praise we gave him, but I thought when he gets the penalty kick, he's likely to do something else, because that's the script that Tav writes. But then, when we go to the equaliser, you're thinking, well, there's only one winner now, Linda.
Yeah, aye, that's exactly what it was. We just thought they'll push on, and we'll get a winner, because it was what was that, the 60th minute, you said, Ox? It was still a good half hour plus left.
It must have been about 80 minutes on the clock by the time they took to look at VAR, Linda.
It was quite incredible, wasn't it? Oh goodness, and that doesn't help as well, Ox. It's everybody around the stadium's getting impatient, and it's amazing how that sort of thing can annoy everybody. But no, I thought we were going to push on and get the winner, and no, we were stuck. It was a sucker blow, wasn't it?
Aye. What did you think when the penalty got in Southside? Were you thinking, we'll go on and get a winner here?
Aye, I did, to be honest. You would have thought that, you've seen the reaction for the players as well to the run about the stadium, and I felt like saying it's your job to keep the stadium alive, you know what I mean? We're playing decent football, but you go what they were getting at, keep the noise up, and we'll maybe get this winner. And I thought it would have came eventually, but we get sucker punched at the other end, didn't we?
Aye, obviously they'd already hit the bar, and they were catching us on the break because of their set-up, and they were playing into the space and exposing us. My two centre-halves couldn't handle their centre-forward, I've got to be honest about it. Yeah. So they then gets a ball, we clear it, and young Diamande takes a terrible touch Southside. I don't know if you noticed it at the game or if you've watched it back, mate. I know you've been busy today.
Aye.
A terrible touch, loses the ball. Well, obviously the ball's then going into the box, but if he does his job properly, the goal doesn't happen. Southside.
Aye, it looked like he tried to take it on the turn when the ball came out to him, and he's lost it. And then by the time he's tried to chase over, and I think probably some of the team obviously were thinking maybe if he holds this ball, we'll start to go on, we've got transition, we can turn. I thought he should just have got his foot on it and booted it up the part somewhere out the road. I thought at that point, just clear it, because it's in a dangerous position. He tries to get close to the player to shut it down, and the boy crosses it in. Tav's lost him at the back post. I think there was another Motherwell player in there as well, but I think there was a couple of them round about him. But when I seen him header it, I thought Buckland would have got it. Where we sit, we have a good view of it. But I was surprised it went in. I was thinking, big man, what's happening here? Listen, he's done well for us. He might have been caught when Tav's maybe jumping. He might have caught his eye line as well. The boy headered it down into the corner of the goal. But I never think when you're in that position, a goalie should get beat at that side of his post. If he goes across him, fair enough. But
it wasn't great, mate. Whether his feet were wrong or whatever, because the boy sort of bundled it, and if he was there and his feet were right, he should have done better. Tav didn't do great, but for me, if Diamande controls it, Linda, the goal doesn't happen.
Yeah, definitely. He needed to just clear it. It was a poor touch he took, and I think, Southside's right. We were kind of thinking that I think the rest of the team had started to kind of push out a wee bit, Ox, and they get kind of caught with the ball coming over. And you're right, Tav's definitely there's two there, and I think he's caught in two minds whether he near enough gets under the ball a wee bit. And I don't think Jack has steadied himself on the line, Ox. I don't think he's set properly, because, as you say, it almost bundles in. But I think he'll think he should have done better.
Aye. So we're 2-1 down. There's enough time. There's still enough time. But we huffed and puffed, then we ran out of steam. And as the game went on, Southside, I think Lundstrom and even Lawrence would come on at the time, looked tired, and we brought on Kemar Roof and we brought on Scott Wright. There's a penalty on Kemar Roof again all day long. It's got to be seen to be believed. And then we've had a few chances. One of the Kelly clan had another couple of good double save, mate, which he should save, but he's still got to do it.
He made a good Lundstrom one at the first one.
Aye, and then it broke, and then somebody else put a shot in, made a decent save. Redvan was the only one I actually gave past marks to on Saturday. That's how poor I think we were out of piece.
Oh, aye. Golston had an uncomfortable day. He wasn't probably at fault for any of the goals, but he didn't have a decent game. Big Boy was a handful to him. Tav wasn't great. Some of his crossing and that was poor. And Big Suitor didn't cover his sailing glory. So I probably at the back line. You could probably look at Butland as well, which for the first time this season probably, and think could have done better. So I probably at the more Redvan probably would you'd say was the most consistent of the back four that we had.
I would agree, Linda.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, the goals in that header he had as well, Ox. I don't know how he misses that free header. That would obviously.
Aye, he's got to hit the target. He's got to hit the target. If the goal is a wonderful save, you're frustrated, but when you don't hit the target, it's poor. By the way, I don't like my set pieces. I don't like swinging corners because when you're coming in for the back post and there's nobody at the front, because we don't do that now. I'll go to you first, Linda, and Southside can chip out. The corner is then going to be perfect. And you've then got to get it past usually about 6 or 7 defenders. And you're also taking it away for the goal. I don't like it. I've never liked it. I've always preferred swinging corners, personally. But I know you've got to mix it up, and I get that. But and that's maybe we're heated to a few. But the amount of corners we're getting and the amount of chances we're making, the percentages aren't great. Linda, then Southside.
I totally agree, Ox. I don't know why we're not mixing it up. We're now reverted to just outswingers from both sides. I don't understand it. As you say, mix it up. And also, like, it's the same people that take the corners all the time. I get that because they've maybe got, when they practice them, they're maybe the best. We seem to have obviously, it's just either the left or the left back, whoever's on, and it's Tavernier on the other side. But why don't we go short sometimes to the edge of the box, or, as you see, a bit of, like, change it to the in-swinger. We used to have a lot of success with Joe Rebo getting the near post flick on and stuff like that. There's a lot of chat by the fans about the set pieces, Ox, absolutely. And I think we had something like 15 corners in Saturday. And never looked like scoring really, Ox, from any of them.
Listen, I'm willing. I'm willing. If they need somebody up in Alton Howie with a bag of balls, Southside, you can do bibs and cones, and I'll sort it out.
Aye, that's fair enough. I'll do the manual labour. You do the tactical stuff. I get it.
One afternoon, mate. We're not doing it. We can take
it's poor. Linda's right. It's poor. We've spoken about it on here before. We only have Connor Golson and John Suitor that we think that can go in the end of a cross in the box. You have Lundstrom in there, but for some reason, when the last time I noticed him, a player, I think whoever we played during the week, they flung a player up apart, and we had Lundstrom back in the halfway line marking him. So therefore, a guy at 6 foot plus isn't in the area that could maybe get his head on something. We've got Dessers that we've not actually seen too much of his heading ability. Obviously, Massima. He's been injured. He was a threat in both boxes, but we're terrible at it. We're terrible at set pieces and corners. We're not getting anywhere near a decent enough return. But listen, he's probably worked on it. We've seen a wee bit of variation in the corners. Connor Golson's managed to get himself free once or twice. It never came to it, especially at Kilmarnock. So it's something that we need to keep working on. But we need to get more goals for corners and set pieces into the box. We need to. But our threat is just they two and nobody else, Ox, and that's the issue we've got.
Again, it makes so we've got to be inventive. Look, again, Peter Doot, and we lost, but bizarrely, Linda, we extended our lead in the league table after the weekend was done.
Yeah, aye, bizarre. I think probably as well, out of the 3 games we've had, Ox, in the last week there, that 7 days, I think it was a wee bit of a shock losing the game on Saturday. If anything, we thought we might have dropped points at Rugby Park. We also came up against a Haps team in form last weekend, and I don't think it was complacency from our point of view, the fans, and I don't think it was complacency from the players either. Maybe a wee bit of it. I just think we lacked a bit of quality, Ox, and I don't think we started well and we struggled to recover from it. But I would agree with you to a degree about Motherwell. I think that you've got to give them a bit of credit.
Right.
Everybody's in this country's quick to blame referees, blame VAR, etc. But you've also got to give the opposition a bit of credit sometimes, Ox, and I think we do that as a fan base.
I know. I just don't understand football anymore. I'm losing the plot. I mean, when I think getting kicked in the head was always a red card Southside.
Aye, definitely. All day long. I don't think anybody thought we'd slip up at Kilmarnock one day. Ox, get her HR. She should be HR. Well, she's only been once, I think, hasn't she?
It's all the photos we kept getting signed. Once we work out what year they are, we go, oh, that's Linda.
No, but I think when
the old school boy to post them up on Facebook, let everybody see them. I think Kilmarnock was one of the that one in Benedom's a cracker, Linda. Carry on, Southside.
Oh, don't show anybody that.
Like you said, I think people maybe thought we'd have slipped up against Kilmarnock because of the surface and what form sort of Kilmarnock's been in, but it's basically down to the surface that you get there. It's not conducive to a good game of football, and they're more used to it. As all the teams that play on the plastic pitches are more used to it. Fair play, Kilmarnock were no bad that night as well. They've had a good run of results. And Motherwell came, and I just think because we weren't really on it, Ox, I said a couple of nights before it, we'll see how ambitious they were when they come to Ibrox. And they seem to come and play with no fear. But I just don't think we were in the game enough. We weren't pressing them.
We didn't start well. We missed about with the ball at the back line, Tav, and it was one of the ones when Connor's arms go out and Tav couldn't pass the ball. And we get the ball 20 yards for goal. Next time we get it, but at 18 yards for goal, we're going back and back. So the gap between the midfield, because John Lundstrom comes back to get it, Raskin's hiding behind him. So the only option is to boot it up to Dessers, who's usually standing offside. So then we're no clearing the lines. You've got Stirling, who's coming a bit deeper because he's no natural in that position, as you rightly say. Young McCausland's way left wide and doesn't influence again much. So when we're putting the ball up the park just to clear the lines, it's just coming back. It's just coming back, mate. The shape was wrong. Anyway, only my views, Southside, but...
No, I agree. Listen, there's no damage done, mate. We know where we could have been and we know where we could have been. We could have been 5 points clear. And at the end of it, we could have been 1 point behind. End of the day, there's no damage done. That's a blip. It's a wake-up call for us all, basically.
Right.
And hopefully now that'll be the only blip to the end of the season. No.
Well, it's simple. It's simple, Linda. Before we get these phone lines open. 1-8 games, we win the league. It's as simple as that.
Yep, absolutely. We've had a bit of a scare. No damage done. We've actually got bettered our goal difference. I know that's clutching at straws, right? But we have by another goal. We're still top of the league. We've got a wee bit of a break now in terms of the league games, with these other games coming up, massive games as well for us. But you're right, Ox. We just need to just take one game at a time, as Bridge likes to say. And maybe I know we start talking about, we get ahead of ourselves sometimes when we talk about the games as a family, and I think we all just decided let's just take one game at a time now.
Aye, Aye, 8 games. We won 8 games. Simple as that. 8 games. And the league's ours. Right. So that's the thing. Right, we better get these phone lines opened there.
Yep.
Yeah. Right, what we're going to do is we're going to post on social media and YouTube and Facebook. We're going to post a couple of threads, and we want you to have a look at it and come and tell us what one's the red card. What one's the red card? It's a simple question. Let's hear from you.
Why don't you give us a call on 0141 356 1972. It's your show, it's your platform. Let's hear from you.
All right, I think we've been fair enough in our assessment of the game. Southside.
Aye, listen, it's a bad day at the office. On another day, or even that day, if the goalie hadn't made a couple of really good saves, we could have had a point or 3 with it. And at the same time, we could have ended up as we did with nothing at the Ox. You know, it was that way it was. I think if we'd got a second goal, I think we would have probably got the draw. I don't think we were really pushing for the win. But just one of the days, a lot of players were played out of position. They weren't on form, and we've lost a bit of creativity through injuries. So we're hoping we'll get that back. But hopefully by the time we go to play Dundee away in the league, we'll have some players back.
Do you know who I thought we really missed, Linda? You can come in first and then Southside. I thought we really missed Cantwell in that game.
Yeah, I would agree, Ox. It's just his creativity, isn't it? And he's also, when he gets on the ball in that number 10 position, he can go by players, and he's also making the runs into the box late as well. I think what we missed him on the form that he was showing there just before he got injured. I know he was struggling when he came back from that injury earlier on in the season. I did see he posted something on social media saying I'll be back soon, so let's hope that's true. Because Southside's right, when you look at all those forward players we've got missing, including Dowell, you're talking about 6 of them, and we're struggling in the wide areas again, Ox, aren't we?
Aye. Well, obviously, Matondo, Seamer, who both played on that left side. We have got a problem in the right-hand side. You can take the Cantwell point first, Southside, but we have got a problem on the right-hand side because we've never had great options out there, have we?
No, listen, we've been using Ross McCausland out there. I thought when Cortez signed, he would be the guy who would play on the right, but he started on the left. I think Todd Cantwell is a big miss in there. I think Diamondi or Lawrence, if he had been put in that position, can still fill a point to what Cantwell can do. I think that in Saturday what was missing was the 2 wide positions. I think we didn't have anybody penetrating them down the right or the left. And I think Cortez being injured was a blow because I think he was starting to show wee glimpses. Matondo obviously wasn't available and he didn't find Scott Wright on till late on. Who is the only other natural winger that you could say could go out and play wide up. So I thought on Saturday what Let is doing for a big bit of the time was on the flanks. I thought that's where it cost us. We didn't have anybody even to fling on late on. Maybe we'd have had him at Tondo, he could have played a ball in behind him and had him running through. I just thought that's what we lacked at the weekend. Was certainly the both flanks were poor.
Right, fair enough. Well, been John Boer, Gary. Evening, Gary.
Evening, Ox. Evening, Southside. Evening, Linda. Honestly, I was saying to old school Blue there, has there ever been more talking points raised in a weekend of Scottish football than these past 2 days? And I'm just looking at the tackle on McCausland there, and he's not even gone for that ball. I mean, and how high that foot is. When you give me a tackle like that, you're only looking to do one thing. Let's be honest. An absolute shocker, but I think with the refereeing and with VAR and stuff, it just seems to be getting worse and worse every weekend now. And this thing about getting players protected is becoming more and more of an issue. And you don't want to get to a stage where guys with any skill don't want to come to our league because they just think, I'm just going to get halved in 2 here and nothing's going to get done about it. It's just an absolute disgrace.
Aye, mate. It was what I can't get my head around. What I can't get my head around, Gary, is look, I accept that a referee might not see something. Because a game, as he might have just watched the ball as a follow-through happens. I get all that. I understand all that. I've no refereed at any level, but I've refereed games of football, and you don't see everything. Anybody that thinks you do is kidding yourself on. Right? So I get that, I understand that. But when VAR's there, and we look the one that Sterling done when he slipped, and it was deemed to be dangerous play, and he gets sent off. Okay, he wasn't in control, so he could have injured the player, so he gets sent off. We're like that. Unlucky, sent off. We take our medicine. That's thing. You compare that and that. How's that no sent to VAR? Because that's the job of VAR. VAR should be on. You've missed one here. You have to have another look at it. If he then goes and looks at it and decides he's happy with his original decision, that's fine. He's refereed the game to how he sees it. But how did VAR not even look at that and say, you need to have a look at that because you've missed one? That's what I'm feeling understood.
Well, I think in my mind, Ox, I think the comments made by a certain manager on Sunday tells you why. Because to come out and actually name people by name, and what got me was, if you're in any professional walk of life... Sorry, mate, on you go.
Stick to the point, because we'll come to that. We'll come to that as a show going, right? So, think about the two decisions. Never mind their decisions. They lost the game 2-0. They were lucky. If somebody could hit a T-square, it would have been 3-0. Right? So, if VAR calls Sterling's tackle to have a look at it, how does it not call Casey's tackle to have a look at it? Help me out, Gary.
It's the inconsistency, and we had hopes that VAR would solve a lot of these things, but at the end of the day, VAR is just a technological assistant. It still comes down to the people who are manning it to kind of make those decisions, and it's just we're seeing again just the wide, and not just in our games to be fair, but just the wild inconsistency all the time now of what's called to VAR, what's not, and then even when they're looking at VAR, they're still making the wrong decision. So it's, in a way, it's just kind of made the waters even more muddy and even more unclear. And we're just seeing this now every weekend pretty much. And as I say, not just with Rangers games, there's decisions all over the league which are still getting wrong even after this technology is available.
Did you see the Ross County one during the week?
Aye. I mean, this is kind of what we're dealing with, and it's just no matter what assistance we try and get, the game here is just going backwards and backwards and backwards.
Well, the first thing I know how I would improve it. Right, I've had a thought of thinking about this. The first thing I would do is, whenever they're watching a game for VAR, I would test it for drugs and drink. Because I'm having a right good time when they're watching the game. Just an idea. And then we'll see. Yeah, because some of the decisions that are coming for there are worse than some of the refereeing. Southside then, Linda. Come in and Gary's points.
No, Gary, 100%. It's just VAR probably works. You see it working in most leagues around the world, and sometimes you maybe see the odd one. You go, oh, that's pretty dodgy. Like the one Newcastle got in Europe, I think, with the handball when it bounced up off the boy and hit him in the arm, and in that game they're getting a penalty. When everybody's thinking about come off his body and then come up and hit his arm. And then, like you say, some of the tackles, I've always said, Gary, I want the referee to go and look at it on the monitor, and then he makes a decision instead of somebody in the VAR room making the decision, as we've seen happen a few times. It was Don Robertson that sent off Sterling, but he only gave a yellow card yesterday. And you look at the two of them, all right, one's sliding in and one's doing a karate kick, so take your pick. But
yeah, it really was. I mean, Jackie Chan would have been pleased with that one.
You're not being fair there. That's no fair, Southside, because what it was is Linda's favourite aftershave. It was a high karate kick.
All right. But that same referee as we talk about, and it's the referees. See, the thing is, the referees in Scotland are poor, right? They're poor. And some of them, even down in England, are doing the same as up here. A lot of them up here at the moment aren't making that decision. And as you said, we talked about the penalty incident on Saturday, where he was standing, Don Robertson, He'd a great view. He was just to the left of the penalty box, if I'm right. He'd a great view, and you've got O'Donnell sliding in and just taking a man out and not even playing the ball. Muir was it? Sorry, Muir on Saturday. You had him on Saturday just watching it happen and doesn't even bother. I mean, you can't slide in and take a man out and not play the ball. And then it's the length of time it's taking an Gary at times to make a decision.
Yeah,
it's just they're just not interpreting it right. It probably works. It's just that we're just not consistent enough with decisions, and the referees aren't always making that decision. They're not always getting asked to go to the monitor. They're getting overruled by somebody in the VAR room who's decided to make the decision when it should be the referee at all times that makes the decision.
Absolutely.
No, you're right, Gary, about just the inconsistency, and we're actually up here. I know they're not getting the decisions right all over. I understand. We seem to be making a complete pig's ear of this VAR. We're not using it properly. As Oak said, the referee, if he was been asked to go to the monitor and have a look at that one on McCausland, and the fact that he wasn't, Gary, is the thing that really worries me. So the referees missed it, right? Ox has made a good point. Sometimes you get caught up in the speed of the game, etc. But how they never asked them to go and even just take a look at in the monitor is a really worrying thing. I wonder what the pictures and the images as well, Gary, what they're looking at. I mean, apparently the clubs are paying £1 million a year for VAR up here, but there's reports that the quality is not there as well. What the system that we've installed isn't up to scratch. But you know what, Gary, that wouldn't surprise you, would it?
No, absolutely wouldn't. Everything's kind of done on the cheap, but nothing's ever done properly. But you're right, Linda, for what you're saying. When you've got a guy who's getting carried off the park, then surely that warrants. If that doesn't warrant a second look on VAR, what does? It's mental.
But remember that if it wasn't for VAR, we wouldn't get that penalty on Silver, Gary.
Yeah.
Aye. No, that's true. That's true, mate.
As mental as it sounds. Anyway, we've been joined by Stuart. Evening, Stuart.
Hi, guys. Linda, how you doing? All right?
Hi, Stuart.
Hi, Stuart.
Hiya, guys. Hiya. I've been listening to you talking about this incident. I mean, you could watch it as much times as you like, and you've got to make a split decision. And that guy knew that McCausland had kind of committed, and he knew, you see him turning his foot sideways and then upwards. He thought, I'll get the ball first, and then I'm going through him. Simple as. I mean, it's probably one of the worst tackles I've seen for a long time that never resulted in a serious injury, honestly. I mean, if McCausland's foot had been planted a wee bit, it would have took his knee off, I'm telling you. It would have just shattered it. That would have been a moot. Do you know what I mean? And did you say, or everybody's saying it, Gary, we're all saying it, Linda and Gary, play never went to VAR. God almighty, I just don't know. I mean, you know what it is? There's a lack of transparency. These people should be accountable. They should be got to the VAR people and say, look, that's an incident. I want to hear the commentary back and forward, why you didn't think it was that. And at least you would have a wee bit of comfort for that. But you hear nothing and you're thinking, as you say, what are they doing in there? Are they playing dominoes or something? Or are they on the bevy? I don't know. It's just absolute madness.
I'm going for the latter because I'll tell you why. I think dominoes would be too complicated for some of them.
Probably. No, I was thinking about pizza, actually. They're maybe eating a Domino's pizza or something like that. There's something going on there. I mean, all we're looking for is transparency. They've got all this set up, £1 million for VAR, but you didn't hear anything. We should be hearing the referee should be saying, well, that's a wild tackle, whoever it is. What you're looking at, come in here and look at it. That's what you want to hear, that you hear them talking all the time, but we didn't hear anything. We need to hear something. And that's what the teams should be saying. Everybody, whether it's the Ross Counties or whoever it might be, them for the other side, they just want a bit clarity so that people are telling them.
I think that'll have to come for FIFA, mate. That would have to come for FIFA.
I know.
Yeah, it would take a whole mindset.
That's the same in England, Docs. It's the same kind of process. That's the same problem.
Just a question for you. Would you always play your double, Southside?
Aye.
Me too. Linda?
Yes,
Definitely.
Aye,
Double pepperoni. I'll hear a double pepperoni for me, like, definitely.
And I've been sent a Linda, I've been asked to that latest picture. Was that the Makepeace haircut?
yes.
Oh God, that's a cracker. I don't know who's digging these out, Linda, but
Oh my goodness, I thought I had burned them all.
it's a small world, Southside, isn't it?
As my phone's just pinged, but I'm scared to look at it now.
Right. Have a look at it. It might be me.
That's what I said. I was scared to look at it.
Stuart, good points you make there. In you come, Linda.
What was his points again? You put me on.
Pizza, pepperoni.
Right, Stuart, my favourite pizza is ham and pineapple.
Aye, whatever. I'm looking for any suggestions there, like I'm eat anything, but never mind.
Well, I think you're right about VAR. I think if you look at rugby, when it happens, if it's a try or that or certain decisions, the people in the stadium know what's happening. If you're in the stadium with the VAR at football, it comes up on the screen, and then, well, that's the time to go for your teas, coffees, go for a pie or a pea in it, because you've then got 5 minutes, 10 minutes to go and do it, because that's how long it's taking. And the people in the stadium don't know what's happening. And that's wrong. Southside.
Aye, you want to know, as I said, when there was a possible handball at Kilmarnock the other week, everybody was like, what's happening here? Where did that happen? Nobody knew, because I honestly never really noticed it in the stadium at the time, Ox. And you want to know what's happening, and you're just waiting to find out. Even in American football, they do it as well. They explain it at the time. Something that might change in time, but I don't know, Ox, whether they'll go for it or not. At least try and come out and explain the decision after the game even. Surely they could put one of the dummies for the SFA that's in charge of them all. He could come out and tell you exactly what happened and why the decisions were gave. But it's something that they might do in the future, but I don't see it. I think VAR's, it's certainly done different up here for what it is in England, and it's certainly done differently for what it is in Europe, Ox, as well. It's a bit bizarre sometimes in Europe, and all, but some of the decisions they give with VAR, you know.
No, but what we're saying is, apart from maybe the sending off, which could have influenced the game, we're not saying that VAR cost us a game. The point we're making, Gary, first and foremost, we didn't play well, but we can't understand how for a red card.
No, absolutely not. And given that it was the guy who went on and scored their winner, that, you know, we'll never know now. But, you know, you can't say that decision didn't have a massive impact on the game, and who knows ultimately the impact, you know, that result could have in the league. Even though in a sense, my overall opinion of the weekend is, yeah, we could have been 5 clear, but we've kind of got away with one. You know, at the end of the day, but. Yeah, it's been a massive turning point in how that game could have went, and it's as clear cut a sending off as you're kind of going to see. So it was a massive blunder.
Aye, it was. Listen, look, we're not saying, Stuart, we played well. We're not saying we deserved to win. We're not saying that the referee caused us a game. Because he missed that challenge. What we're saying is we can't understand how it was referred to VAR. That's all we're asking. But we know we never played well.
I know. You'll come on to the no playing well in a minute, but see that there are a lot of things we could do to improve VAR. I've just talked about it there, about the transparency, a wee bit of clarity about whatever. And plus, if players knew that they were going to go into a tackle, leave one on a guy, think, I was quite clever there of getting on that. And there should be a retrospective sort of look at it, saying, no, that is a red card. And you'll get, again, it's maybe a bit controversial, but it would have showed that Sterling's tackle wasn't a red card.
You know what they're doing rugby at the moment? I didn't know this till the Six Nations started. Do you know what they're doing in rugby at the moment?
No, really, no.
Obviously, their game works slightly different, and they have the sin bin when you get sent off for 10 minutes.
All right.
And what they do is they'll use that time to clarify whether it should be a yellow or a red.
No, that's a fair enough idea. I mean, it wouldn't happen. It wouldn't slow the game down too much. I mean, that was only serious, dangerous. I call it dangerous play. If if you're going to do dangerous play, and there's some players out there that want to, they see an opportunity to, I mean, Shinnie was an example, you know what I mean, in Aberdeen. I mind the one, we can't elbow him in the back of the neck. That's dangerous play. You could break somebody's neck, you could break somebody's leg. So any dangerous play, I would agree with the sin bin, and they'll be sitting there sweating saying, right, I've got a chance of being sent off here, and you got a 5-game ban. That will stop all this dirty nasty. I mean, that was really dirty and nasty. The more you watch it, I'm telling you, you see him lifting his foot up to get the studs right into his leg, and it raked down his leg. I mean, honestly, I was raging at it, man, I'll tell you. I'm still raging about it yet. Going on to the play sort of side there, I mean, I've praised Phil up, we've all praised him up, but you've got to criticise him a bit. I mean, we're all managers, I get it, but here's my take on it. There's no wingers there. He put Sterling out on the right. It's not a good fit. What he should have done was, and I've been saying it for a while, I didn't know why he didn't try this. 3-5-2. The three at the back, with it, I know Sterling, Goldson and Suter, with Tav and Ridvan as the kind of wingers with the three in the middle, because we knew they were going to play these big guys up front. And we knew that Suter kind of struggles at that. I don't know why, but he does, and Goldson's not been looking great either at times, especially corners and that. And that would have gave them the width that he needed. But there were a lot of things wrong with that game that I wasn't happy with. And obviously the tackle and the way we were set up. It took a wee while to kind of get used to it. But it was a blunder paying, Sterling out there and McCausland on the other side. I don't know.
I tell you,
I mean, I think he's made a mistake there. I really did.
I think I'm going to Linda. I'm going to not believe that I'm going to say this. I would have played Sterling, in hindsight, I would have played Sterling and beside Lundstrom. Yeah, and that for me, so far, what we've seen him is his best position. And then if you had Diamandi in front of him, or you could have started with Lawrence and brought Diamandi on, who I thought looked tired as well, because obviously, but you could have started Scott Wright, and I don't believe I'm saying that, but in hindsight, that might have been the way to go.
Yeah, you're right. I mean, Sterling's has done an admirable job in the positions that he's been asked to fill in, and he's actually done reasonably okay at times when he has maybe played on that right, but he's just not a winger, and we know that. I know what you're saying about Scott Wright. The thing about Scott Wright is we know that he's not as good as some of the players that we have tried there, but he is apparently, he is the kind of a more natural player there. I would have liked him to have started Lawrence. I know he's managing the minutes, Ox, but I would have rather he started him. And if we had actually maybe played a bit better and maybe got a couple of goals up, we could have taken him off. Because I quite liked Lundstrom and Diamandi together, and you would just have had Lawrence in the 10, and then we might have had a chance to get him off and manage his minutes that way. But to start them and then kind of shoehorn these other players into these other positions, well, it didn't work, Ox.
So said.
I think we could have picked the team roughly that played against Kilmarnock. When we picked it, we said stick Diamandi in beside Lundstrom. I had Lawrence as a 10, then get him off. You could have played McCausland on the right and kept him on the right, and you could have stuck Silva, as I said, on the left to try it, because we didn't have anybody else, and it might have sort of gave CD9 a bit of help up the front. But as it turned out, he played 3 players out of position, really, because he'd said himself he played Diamandi further up than he likes. So I thought he'd have played him, and like you said, when he brought Lawrence on, he stuck him in beside Lundstrom. They were just a bit disjointed. It was one of the days, and the goalie had a few worldly saves, and that was it. But I wouldn't. Can you blame him?
No.
Maybe he didn't get it. I wouldn't blame him. He picked the team he thought would have been done enough, but he had to change it.
We're critiquing in hindsight, Southside. It's always easy, isn't it?
Aye, it's always easier to critique after the game, aye.
We maybe come to that when we look at the Super 6. Gary, can you do us a favour? When
yes, mate.
You're not speaking, put your phone on mute, mate. We're getting some interference for you, mate. Just when you're not speaking, shove your phone on mute. Cheers, brah. Cheers, but listen, Stuart, we're actually a goal further ahead than we were on Saturday at 3 o'clock. So 8 games we need to win now to win the league.
listen, I'm happy. After it, you're like, oh God. But I had a wee feeling that things might turn out not too bad. I was thinking, God, even though we're kind of 1 point in front, I would have kind of signed up for that. I was hoping for that. But listen, as you say, we've increased our goal difference by a wee bit, and I think Mr. Tinkerman, he's had to tinker a lot. Let's be honest with you, he's had to do a lot of tinkering, and in the main he's got it right. 9.9 out of 10, he's got it right. So we agree to disagree with Phil this time. Okay, what I mean? But I think he's learning a lot for his players all the time. You'll hear him saying that all the time. He's learning a lot. He's learning about the players. He's looking to the summer thing. I've got to change this a bit. And what he's doing with the players is remarkable. Let's be honest about it. So where we were 2-3 months ago, it's remarkable. There's 2 points clear. Get goal difference. I mean, we were something like 7 or 8 goals behind in the goal difference. You know what I mean? So I'm quite happy. I think if we could struggle on to Dundee and win all these games, maybe the Benfica games will be different. I'm not too worried as long as we put up a good show. But if we get to the Dundee game and we're in the same position, maybe a couple of goals in front, with a wee bit of a break there, re-galvanised, then you're talking, 5 games to go at the back of that or something. I'm really confident. You know what I've said, Docs? I've said this for a while. The key game, the league decider, is at Ibrox against them. For me, in my head, if we beat them at that point, that's it. They'll be so gutted. You know what I mean? And I feel that's going to happen. I feel that, I really do.
We're hoping we win all our games up to then, and then you win that game, you go 5 points clear.
That's it.
We're away to Ross County. There's 6 games left, and you're hoping you beat Ross County. You're 5 points clear with 5 games left. So you're
perfect.
So you'll see where it takes us. But some great topics. Gary, in the second part of the show, we'll come back to the point that you made at the start, about the way people conduct ourselves, bro.
Cheers, mate. Aye, definitely.
I think I know where you're going with that. I can have a guess. Oh, Linda, there's another picture just come in.
Is it another Makey's picture?
No. It's a wee bit different.
No Purdy, is it? Purdy?
No. There's a lot of curls in it.
Oh, yes. They were all natural.
Robert Pritz. It's no Robert Pritz, is it? You mind of him?
Gone away for it, if I'm being honest.
Well, good. He had some heady hair, I'll tell you.
I tell you what, they all must have had that. They must have had that art in that school, because it looks a bit like Dave McPherson, if I'm being honest, outside. You know what I mean?
Soonest had that too, man. Soonest was a bit like that.
That was a great school.
Oh, Fox is saying Gene Wilder. Aye.
We're all a bit stir crazy right enough, never mind.
Right, okay, we've got to that time of the evening, near enough. But Southside, gutted on Saturday. I know you went heavy on the Hearts and backed them yesterday. I thought they were value for cash. Obviously, it's helped ease the pain, but we've got to learn that every game's important. Maybe just a wake-up call for some of the players, or a learning.
Aye, no, well, Stuart just alluded to, he said, like, the league decider is against them at Ibrox. And you're right in what you're saying, but see the game after that, Stuart, when it's Ross County away, and a Sunday, I think it is, at 12 o'clock kick-off, that becomes a most vital game, We done the hard work because we thought Hearts, well, I think a lot is in our heart, I thought we would all beat Hearts at home, right? And we done a job on them. Then we had to go. It was terrible conditions that night. It wasn't great to play Kilmarnock. They were in a bit of form, as we know. They make it difficult and hard for you. We ground it out and we got the result. Yep. The Motherwell game was probably a game where I think we'll turn up, we're at home, we'll just carry on playing. And then we've seen that the team looked a bit tired, I think, in the second half at times, and we just didn't get going. We made a few changes and it didn't work. And we looked a bit dodgy at the back as well at times. So it's a wake-up call for us all. But listen, he's done wonders with this team and squad to get us to where we are at the moment. So listen, there was maybe a blip coming and we just didn't want to say it. It could happen. And it's happened now. So hopefully that'll be the last one that we'll see.
All right, people, get yourself in mute because we're going to have a tune.
Why don't you give us a call on 0141 356 1972? It's your show, it's your platform. Let's hear from you.
Right, okay. Gary, you were wanting to make another point, mate, and wanted to get the game done before we moved on. So the floor's yours, brah.
It was just about, well, I kind of, a couple of points have been in my mind, just very quickly, keeping to Rangers for a second. After the kind of tackling McCausland and, the last few weeks of some right rough stuff in Scottish football, do you think this could in any way change the player profile that Clement might be looking at in the summer? Or do you think he would just stick with the players that he would want to get anywhere? Do you think he might? I know Bridge always says about, he's that physical presence in this game. Do you think Clement's possibly reassessing the kind of player that he might need to compete consistently in this league, given kind of what happened at the weekend and in other games? He's used the phrase, our players getting booted off the park. I'm just wondering if that might alter his thinking on the type of guys that's going to be required to kind of be successful up here.
Great question. Linda?
Cheers, Ox. Gary, I would hope that there's nothing wrong with bringing in players from abroad, foreigners in, from other leagues, etc. But they've obviously got to have quality. And I know Bridge sometimes talks about he doesn't want to give any teams in Scotland money for players because we get charged more. But I hope he's maybe looking at some of the players that already play in the league and looking at some of the good ones, because there are some good ones about, Gary, and maybe thinking that can he bring in a few Scottish players or players that are already playing here and are doing well. They're maybe used to the game as well. They're used to the rough and tumble of Scottish football, but they have got to be good enough, Gary. But I think at this present moment in time, there are some players that we could be looking to maybe bring in. Shanklin's obviously one of them, but that's a discussion we've had to the nth degree. But there are other players, and I wonder if he's maybe looking at players that are already playing in this league.
Absolutely, it's served us well in the past, like bringing in some of the best of Scottish. It's a tactic we've kind of done well in. So I would agree with that, Linda. Yep.
Southside.
I think you might look at the physicality of some of the players going forward, Gary. Like you're saying, I think he looks for pace. I think when we're looking at Cortez, I think he was the ideal sort of player that he's looking at. That will go and take players on and go at a good skill level, and looking at you can probably move him on in a couple of years' time. Let's be honest, even though we're broke man, if we sign him, we'll be looking to flip him at some point. Same with Diamonde, no the physical, but he looks like he's got attributes. He gets about the park and he's got pace, an eye for a goal. They would probably need somebody more Lundstrom size in the midfield, a couple of them, but in the centre back, I think we should be looking for more dominant centre backs. Good in the air, physical, because that's something like Connor Golson, isn't he? And let's be honest, Big Shooter's no great either, although he's got the physical attributes. But we lack that sort of area. But maybe going forward, he will look for people with a bit more about them, more like John Lundstrom size midfielders rather than somebody like Raskin in the middle of the park, you know. Might be something we'll have to look at.
Stuart?
I mean, has he not been quoted as saying before that he's looking for sort of big players, 6 foot sort of thing? I don't know, maybe I'm wrong on that one, I don't know. But I didn't think it'll change his mindset that much. I mean, it's why they boys, you've got to win the battle before you could win the war. And I think that it's horses for courses. He might go to a ground like Tynecastle tight, kind of nasty atmosphere, blah, 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 and you need a certain type of player to be in a Ryan Jack at his peak, for example, and a Lundstrom in there fighting away. Once you've wore them down a bit, you could maybe put the class players on if you like. But modern football, I mean, you've got a guy like Messi, tiny wee guy, flips out and in things. He's a reader of the game. And I think that's what McCausland never done with that tackle. He should have read that, saying, I'm a wee bit late here, I'll just head back a bit. So he's wanting players with intelligence. And I think Cortez, I'm really disappointed at what happened to the boy, I really am. Boys like that, clever sort of football players who could sort of ride a tackle, they came in to go in, they came in to head back. So I think he's looking for more intelligent type of players rather than the Terry Hurlock sort of type, although it could be damn near Terry Hurlock at the minute, right enough. But I didn't think it will sway his decision. To be honest with you. Could I ask one question? Maybe you can all help me here. Linda was talking about earlier about the variety of corners. Can anybody tell me, whoever's got to take a corner, Tav or the Ridvan, they put their hand up in the air and then they look at the thing and then they put the ball on. What's that all about? It doesn't mean anything to me. What are they trying to do?
It does, mate, but it's a secret and I can't tell you what it means.
I think so. It's a Masonic sort of. I was looking for a Ted Rogers 3-2-1 or something like that. I don't know what's going on there. Nothing's happening.
Most people will free corner kicks, mate. Yeah, and you'll move your arm to where you're hoping to put the ball for that. That's what you'll signal.
I know, but
I didn't see it.
I've watched it closely. I didn't see it.
Anything about the gambling, no that. Poor effort, Stuart. Southside.
I didn't see it, and I've looked at it countless times. There's no movement. It's just up and down. That's it. Bang.
Tav puts his arm up, and most of the time it hits the front man and the front post.
That's probably what it is.
That's what he's telling him where it's gone, Southside.
Oh, unbelievable. I said Tav could stand at the edge of the box because, you know, he can hit a shot if it comes out. He can also get a decent leap in the air, as we've seen in certain games. So rather than him take the corner kicks, because let's be honest, he will hit the front post many a time, the first defender. Why sometimes maybe leave it to somebody else to take the corner and just get him either in the box, because we only have Golston and Suter as a threat. And if the ball doesn't come towards them, we don't have anybody else getting on the end of things. And I know we done one at Dumbarton, and it would have never took the corner, but somebody did. It might have been Cantwell when it was Cantwell flicked on by Suter, and Lundstrom got it at the back post. So I don't know. It's things that have to improve, Stuart, as we've all spoke about on here. Set pieces are crucial. Look at the teams in the Premiership, how many goals they get for set pieces. A lot of them in a season. There's quite a lot of them down there. You don't need to be great to have great players. You just need to have people that can go and attack the ball. And unfortunately for us, we only have two players. It'll be Suter and Golson, and that is it at the moment.
I agree.
Gary, you had another point about the way people are conducting themselves.
I just thought the comments with Brenda yesterday were not unexpected, but actually for one of the rare times it gave me actually sympathy for the officials up here, because it's just a stark reminder of what they're up against. And I thought what was really out of order was actually going on and naming them by name. In particular, I think was it Beaton that was doing the VAR for that game yesterday. Now, in any kind of walk of life in a working professional environment, that's just not something that's done, is to actually name people by name and think you are to blame for this. Just completely classless. Again, not expected, but it just shows you the kind of, in a way it's funny because the guy is having a full blown meltdown, and there was loads of good memes of him getting fired about yesterday with the clown face on. I'm sure you've got them yourself, but you know, it's the kind of dark edge to it. It's that kind of almost threatening tone, which really brings the game into disrepute here.
Yeah, I think he's going to be charged, but what he's trying to do is it's not about that game, mate. It's about the next game and the game after.
Exactly.
And let's be honest about it. Let's really be honest about it. If you think back to the decision at Ibrox to chop half a goal, and the decision with the handball, it wasn't given. Maybe we can talk about the offside and the wonky lines all day long, but the handball wasn't given. They're worse than any of the decisions that happened yesterday. There was 3 contentious moments in that game. I don't like talking about them. It was the sending off, which is a sending off all day long, because it's foul, it's dangerous play, it's serious foul play, and I'm sure Willie will come in at some point and tell us. The penalty that they got, for one angle, you can see how it can look as a penalty. But if VAR looks at it and sees the other angle, it's never a penalty kick. And then the third angle, the third incision with the Hearts penalty, there's a fourth one with the Hearts goal get chopped off and the line wasn't straight. It hits 2 players' hands. And then I'll go back to the famous quote of Brian Clough. If you're not interfering with play, you shouldn't be on the park. If he doesn't know what it is and his mate shoves him, that's no the referee's fault. Yeah? It hit 2 hands. So they're trying to get the next decision. You can see right through them. Southside.
Always cheated, never defeated. That's what they proclaim in it. That's it. Listen, he named him. Listen, the referee booked him, Don Robertson, as we've seen, and then he said the VAR said, "Here, go and look at it again. Look where he's fit as possibly. Maybe you never saw it as bad as that. Whatever." He's went out and looked at it. It was the referee that made the decision. Although he alerted him to it, the referee went and looked at the monitor and changed his mind. Looked like it was breaking his heart to change his mind you, but he decided, maybe I didn't see it as clearly as I thought, so it's a red card. Listen, they're going to greet about it. It is probably for the games that's coming up. You'll get decisions. We've had shocking decisions against us this season as well, and we've just got on with it, you know. So we always show a bit more dignity, I think. So we can let it go. You can greet all you want. At the end of the day, their team get beat, and that's what he went for. He went for the officials. And as you say, Doc, some of the pictures for the penalty, the first one, you could have said, neither 2 players touched the ball at all, and he looked like he put his leg across. But it is what it is. Like I say, always cheated, never defeated. That's the Celtic way, isn't it?
Right. Wanda.
Totally agree with Southside. Just it was deflection tactics. They get beaten. They would have been thinking it was a great chance for them, etc. But this isn't the first time they've done that, Ox, and I totally agree with you. That's about future games. It's about future. It's trying to influence decisions going forward. They've done it before, in recent seasons, calling out referees and talking about them at AGMs, etc. That's the only worrying thing about it, from our perspective, is that if it has any effect in the games going forward. But also just a wee point about Don Robertson. He was asked to go to the monitor, and he could have just stuck with his original decision, Ox, because that's what he did with the Sterling one. He was asked to have a look at that. Remember when they sent Sterling off and he didn't change his mind? So as I say, John Beaton has made a recommendation for him to have a look at it. It wasn't him that made the decision, it was the referee. And for Rodgers to call out John Beaton like that on national television is an absolute disgrace.
Yep.
He's desperate. You could see it in his face, man. He's just he's drowning in the deep blue sea, as they say, and clutching at straws. I mean, you can see there's a big disconnect between him, the fans, and just everything around him. I think he's regretting going back there, and he's just lashing out. You can see the pressure that this guy's under, the way he's chewing gum out the side, and he's not getting. His players seem to be kind of ignoring him. I think there's a big disconnect between him and the Asian type of players. They just didn't seem interested now because they maybe not got that connection. And all around him, there's things starting to fall to bits. I'm telling you, he's one sort of draw or defeat away, and he just cracked up. You know what I'm saying? And that's just desperation, as you say, Ox. What he's trying to do is prepare it. Or he's building up for maybe the Rangers game or whatever. Another big decision like that, Lager Bielka or whatever you call him, kicking the back of Dessers' leg, roof bank. And I mean, if that had been 3 points saved for us, these are all big decisions, and it's all done to create this sort of victimhood that they're always the victims. You get what I mean? They're always the victims, and that's what you're up against. So you're actually fighting against 12 men at times. And you're right, that's exactly what he's trying to do. He's trying to gain favour for the coming games. Absolute 100%.
Right, well, with John Beard William, who I'll be talking through this call, because I'm sure this could be dynamite.
Hold on to your hats.
Yeah. Evening, William. I just wanted.
Good evening, evening, everybody.
Evening,
William.
All right, it's not the Waltons. It's not the Waltons, right? The show will be finished. The time you all say hello. No, shut up.
Right, Grandma. Good night.
Good night, Jim Bob.
I forgot about him.
We'll go through the contentious decisions for the weekend, William, and I just want you, red, yellow, refer to VAR, what you think should happen. So, you had the McCausland incident, thoughts?
Red card, all day long, red card.
Okay,
it's no dangerous play. Dangerous play is actually a yellow card. Reckless and dangerous is a yellow. It's serious foul play. And I've seen quite a few broken legs over the years. I've seen about a dozen. Mostly accidental, but a few are intentional. I think he tried to break the boy's leg. That's what I think. That's my honest opinion. He went in there at 100 mile an hour, and he's right over the top, and I think he's trying to break the boy's leg. And that clown, he shouldn't be refereeing, because somebody's going to get a serious injury.
Right.
If I'd been refereeing that before the players had even stopped moving, the red card would have been out. You cannot allow that. You just can't allow that.
All right, so then we'll talk about the penalty kick that Rangers were awarded, mate. Why, when you see the position of the referee, why is he not awarded it, and why did it take so long?
He's only 3 or 4 yards away. He's looking right at it.
Perfect. Yeah.
See what happened, Alex? I'm looking at the incident. The next thing I'm looking for is where is the referee. That's the thing I'm looking for. Mm-hmm. And he's right there. He's looking right at it. There's 2 of them taking Silva out the game. None of them get any of the ball. You see Silva chipping the ball with the toe. There's none of them getting any of the ball. O'Donnell comes in with the studs up. He's sliding in with the studs up. Another one, it's just a big body check. Mm-hmm. And I think it was that in Casey who did the big body check. Absolutely a penalty. And I can only think they were looking for some reason that they could maybe do a wee draw in, a paint shot pro and make up an offside. Maybe put Seaman in the picture and put him in an offside position. Something like that. Maybe they were looking for something else. I don't know. How that should have taken 4 minutes. That's unbelievable.
Right, so then, I don't know if you've seen it. Have you seen the roof incident, mate, when he's going through?
No, never seen it.
All right, okay. So we're just going to quickly talk about the things that happened yesterday. Quickly. Right. So the first one, the penalty kick when nobody touched anybody and somebody fell. Thoughts?
Not a penalty. And Robertson was so quick to give it, and it's just never a penalty.
Mm-hmm. So the second incident with the boy studs, I think it was about the boy's face. Thoughts?
Straight red card, Bruce Lee. Straight red card. He doesn't touch the ball. The ball comes off Cochrane's head, and Bruce Lee doesn't get any of the ball. And it looks like he catches him twice. His foot goes up and then his foot comes down. I can't believe they're appealing against that.
Mark Wilson's good. He said he touched him in the shoulder. I don't know what he was watching. Anyway, so then we had the one with the Hearts penalty when there was the handball. Thoughts?
Well, in today's laws, it's a handball.
Aye.
Absolutely. You can pick Johnson or you can pick the other guy. The two of them handle it. But today's laws, if you look at the one that was given against us, Lundstrom, it's absolutely, by today's laws, that's a penalty.
All right, mate. All right. We're pretty much all agreeing. Linda?
Yeah, definitely. I just think, obviously, as we said earlier, Ox, that wasn't the result that they wanted. I did like Chris Boyd's attitude on Sky when he actually called out the performance of them yesterday. Talking about the fact that when we lost the Old Firm game at New Year, we were accused of calling out officials, etc., or even just complaining about the decisions, and we were just told to look at the performance of our own players. And he said that on television yesterday. So good on Big Boydie. But generally, in terms of the decisions, it's a case of, I think if we thought that some of them were harsh, Ox, we would probably say. I don't think we're that blinkered at times. But no, absolutely, I would agree with the fact that he shouldn't have called out John Beaton, and let's hope there's something done about that, Ox.
Aye. There's etiquette, and obviously, yeah. I think it's the next decision they're trying to get, but well, that's up to them. We just need to keep winning. 8 games. It's going to be exciting, William.
Aye, I mean, I think Rodgers he's just trying to appease the Celtic fans by turning it on to John Beaton. And the fact is, it's Robertson that makes every decision. Beaton can only point things out to him. Robertson's got the final say. And he didn't want to give the decisions, but he just had to. He was embarrassed into it. He tried to swing every decision to suit Celtic, and Beaton just tripped him up all the way along. But it's down to Robertson. He makes the final decision. So for Rodgers to come out and get on at Beaton, it's just not right.
Well,
and I hope it'll go out of the papers and on Mr. Crawford Allen. Lay off our referees. Lay off John Beaton.
We'll wait for that. I think
Aye.
I think there might be charges within the next 24, 40 hours. Right.
I've heard the rumour about that.
Let's park that. It's done, and it's
aye.
Let's park it. But we've got a massive week coming up. 2 competitions, Southside.
Aye, massive. Europe and the Cup game, Ox. So it's massive for the club this week. But Europe first, then we'll need to take care of the Scottish Cup game. But aye, massive.
But it's getting exciting, Linda.
It certainly is, Ox. And let's hope we can get some players back, because especially in the forward positions, isn't it, Ox? It's looking a bit threadbare just now. There's chat of, as I said earlier, Cantwell maybe coming back, and Matondo as well. I don't think he's far away. And I know Matondo hasn't actually, he's not played brilliant in every game that he's been involved in, but it would just give us another option. It was a big blow to hear about Cortez. I think we feared the worst with that. So it would be quite nice to get a few players back and give the manager some more options.
Did anybody read about the event that happened in the Armadillo last night? I don't know if you caught it, Southside. Yeah. Big Clement and Graham Souness. If you'd have known, Linda, Jack Butland was there.
I know, I couldn't get a ticket at the last minute.
Yeah. Anyway, I don't know if you've seen the Big Seamer asked if he could travel with the squad to support the team in Portugal. Well, I don't know if he's been double wide to get a few days away in Portugal, or he's wanting to go support the team, but it's showing a great attitude. Gary?
Absolutely. I mean, he showed that on the park. I mean, just to what Linda was saying earlier there, I don't know if you've seen it, but Cantwell posted on his Twitter that he'll be back soon, a couple of hours ago. So that was getting a lot of reposts. But I see his attitude is absolutely top notch. So that's a really kind of great sign, and another sign that he's genuinely got the Rangers bug, and yeah, he could be back in time for a very important run in. So no, that was a nice wee story today.
Aye, and I don't know if you've seen the other one, William, that he said to Jack Butland, if Jack doesn't perform, I'm going to just put Dujon in goal.
I don't know how else he might be too tired because he's driving the coach.
He's brilliant. Stuart, the manager, listen, even when we get beat, he's a class act. He says all the right. He questions the decisions, but he does it in a fair manner, and he's actually trying to improve the game for everybody.
Aye, no, I mean, you could tell by his demeanour, and I heard a wee bit of that Souness interview the night when he was interviewing him and stuff like that. He says, Souness, but he's selling that position, say, could I really trust this guy? Could I really take information for this guy? And he says, I could. And he came at Souness, was like, he was a bit arrogant and all that. He said, you need that between the player and the manager. I never caught all the interview, I just caught it. He was talking about the armadillo and all that kind of thing as well. So he's got that stature, he's got that steely look about him, part of Doug Sheed and boot his backside at the same time kind of guy. And going back to the Thursday game, I'm actually looking forward to it. I'm looking at it as a kind of free hit. We play good in Europe. It could be a more expansive, a bit free flow, and get back into some kind of rhythm, then back to Scottish football again. So I think it's like a wee tonic for us, if you like. Folk might say, it's too soon. No, I'm actually thinking it could be as good, although we looked a bit tired. I think it could give us a wee boost sometimes. Feel sorry for yourself, get out there, do a real better on these people, and come away with a draw or something, come away with something, you know. I just get that feeling. It's good, it's going to be good for us, I really do.
William?
Aye, I think you noticed like for the first half at Kilmarnock, most of the first half we were pretty poor, and you can't tackle on that surface. And then I think on Saturday we weren't really getting stuck in. I think some of the guys saving ourselves for the Benfica game, not getting stuck into the tackles, you know, because I'm really, really looking forward to that. Where they've got a decent referee, or more chance, and that's the level they want to play at.
Southside might tell you different. Southside.
There's no chance we were holding back anyway, William. Not a chance, man. That league's more important, but I think the foreign referees are pretty poor enough, to be honest. I think you've seen some performances the other years at Ibrox and away from home.
I don't know, biased.
No, maybe not get that. Maybe a couple of Italy might not be. We might not be their favourite people. If you get the Italian or the Spanish, but you know what I'm saying. But no, listen, it'll be a hard game on Thursday. Let's not kid ourselves. Benfica are a good outfit. Whatever they're doing in the league, they're playing in a better league than what we're in. In Scotland. Aye, but they're playing a better league than what we're playing in. William, you know, we dominate the ball in this league, as you see, by possession stats week in, week out. But when we go into Europe, we'll be chasing the ball for quite a bit. You know, we don't get to dominate games in Europe, and we usually always concede goals. Even under Gerrard, when we're doing well in Europe, and he put us back on the map, and even through to get to Europa League final, we were still losing goals in Europe. So we get punished when we make mistakes. So we'll need to be at defence. We'll need to be really watertight on Thursday night.
I don't think we in that run for Dortmund, Belgrade, was it only Red Star Belgrade that we kept at home? We kept a clean sheet. That was the only game, wasn't it? We won 3-0, didn't we?
3-0, yeah.
I think he saved a penalty, didn't he, McGregor?
And let's be honest, McGregor was arguably our man of the match. Aye, that was on the game. Aye, I get your point, Southside. Listen, Gary, it's going to be exciting, and we'll see where it takes us. I'm sure the players are looking forward to it, and then it's a massive week ahead of us, because then we'll get the cup tie away to Hibs on the Sunday. You know, Scottish football always tries to help the coefficients and for the good of the game in the country. I'm really proud of the way they conduct ourselves. Gary?
Absolutely. Well, that's it. Rangers, you know, we're always looking to give others a helping hand, aren't we? So, it's as we said earlier, I think this could actually come as a kind of welcome distraction with the two different kind of competitions, and I think if we can keep it relatively tight over there and get them back to Ibrox, as we know anything can happen. And Hibs on Sunday, even with the kind of dip in performance and the injury woes, we've got such a good record down there that should really be a win as well. Move on to would that be moving on to the semis if we win this one? It's the quarter. Aye. You know, then you're kind of phoning in hopefully in another final. And so, 2 games, 2 good performances, give the team that lift, get that wee break for the league, get some guys back, and then it's all guns blazing. A massive week, but a week that could really help kind of really shape our season. So I'm looking forward to it.
I must confess, I'm actually think the team and the players could do with the international break, Stuart.
I think so. I think variety is the spice of life type of thing. I don't know if their minds was on the Benfica game. I just don't know. It's just one of the games. That's what I'm putting down to it. Forget about it, move on. And I think, as you say, a welcome distraction. I'm looking forward to the Benfica game. I don't know if you know this. You probably do. There's a big eagle flies round the stadium before the game. You heard that? No. You probably know. It's true. Apparently it flew away. It's not a joke. Apparently it flew away one day. So it's true. It's a true thing if you go and research it. Before the game, a big eagle flies round the thing, comes back and gets fed. One day it just buggered off, never came back or something like that. So what I'm saying is look out for that. We could maybe get it on the bench or something like that. Lift by the players.
2 things, Stuart. It's usually Willie that comes on here with the tall tales, but that takes some.
I'm telling you, you watch it. I'm telling everybody that's listening, wherever you are, watch it.
Eagle over there. He's
watch it.
Wednesday. Southside.
I wouldn't have known that. Well, I wouldn't have known that, Stuart, really, honestly. I've never heard of that one before.
True,
no,
I
know. But
do you think we've got to see live on air, Southside, that we go away to Portugal and we go chasing the birds?
There's the bird.
You know what I mean? We're not going to
I was still remembering that pigeon for Hampden. I was there thinking about that there, you know. Done as a wee turn, if you remember, Stuart.
I can't mind.
Burn in the cup.
I can't mind. Honestly, I can't mind.
Aye, Kenny Morgo, aye.
I can't mind, honestly. I must have been on the bevy that day or something. Probably was.
Yeah, you'll find it on YouTube.
I will YouTube. I'll Google it.
Have you got YouTube?
Listen, I'm going to go, guys. I've got a couple of things to do. Thanks for taking my call and keep an eye out for that eagle on Thursday, and we'll speak soon anyway, okay? The eagle has landed, as they say. Right then.
Cheers.
See you later, everybody. Cheers, Linda. Cheerio.
Cheers.
Cheerio. Bye.
Need to watch for that eagle. William?
Yeah. I mean, did nobody suggest that it might fly away? Did nobody think of that? That's what they do. And you see these wildlife places. They invite the school lanes up and they go, right, you stand there with a big glove. Sometimes they just bugger off. The eagles, they just fly away. You see, I'm fed up with this job. You know, I'm off. That's what happens.
We've got players like that just fly away, Gary, aren't we?
Well, aye. Sometimes that wouldn't be a bad thing, but no, it's these are the games that, as a fan, you kind of really want to be part of. You know, 2 big European names kind of going head to head, and it's been said that it is kind of a free hit. It is all about the league, absolutely, no doubt about it. So this is a game that hopefully the players can just go and enjoy it, enjoy the occasion, enjoy playing in that stadium, and hopefully it gives them the lift that they're kind of needing. So no, it's going to. I'm really looking forward to the game on Thursday.
Aye, it's going to be, as I say, it's going to be an interesting 10 days. 2 games against Benfica and Sam leads to be a cup tie against Hibs. So It's a big part of the season. If we can come through the 2 games, we've got to play Dundee, and we could be in the quarterfinals of the Europa League, and then the semi-final of the Cup could be Southside.
Nah, it'd be something to look forward to. Listen, you go on Thursday night. Benfica's a good outfit. They've had a good record against Portuguese teams in the past. And we had a 2-each draw and a 3-each draw with them during the COVID season. But players change, and they've sold a couple of their players as well that were big assets for them. And listen, we've got as good a chance as any. It's all about keeping the back door shut. Hoping Jack Butland to have a great night when called upon, and the defence stays solid, and it's just about trying to nick a goal up the other end. So, listen, 7 to play for. They're on the receiving end of 2 beatings, I think 5-0 and 2-1 with Porto and Sporting Lisbon. So, we'll go and we'll give it a go, and we just get a favourable result, something we can come back to compete against, or come back with even a 1-0 in the league would be perfect. And then it's on to Hibs. Like I say, we've got a decent record at Easter Road. I don't fear that. Just need to make sure we'd like to have rejuvenated the squad a wee bit maybe for that game, and Cortez been out injured, and maybe McCausland been out injured. Maybe 2 players that we could have changed at that game and try and freshen the team up. So the squad will be probably heavy hit for the next 3 games. But this is where the Glasgow Rangers for, to compete in big games in Europe and games in the Cup. So we just need to hope they're up for the battle.
We've been joined by Bob Ger. Evening, Bob Ger.
Evening, Ox. How you doing?
All right, mate. Good to hear from you. What's your thoughts, mate?
Well, I hear you discussing Benfica there. Apparently they got beat 5-0 yesterday by Porto, eh?
Aye.
Well, that happens. When they 2 games of football are different. Is McCausland's injured, is he?
We believe so, mate. Our information is that he's injured, mate. Aye. We've not had it confirmed, but we might hear tomorrow. Maybe
well,
Wednesday.
Dijon Sterling got a straight red for the same tackle, a similar tackle. Now that's my case. I see another club depleting and greeting and sending letters to the SFA about VAR. Didn't send a letter to the SFA when the players punched the ball at the park. Again, that's my case.
You might be repeating some of the stuff we've already discussed, mate. We went through it with a fine-tooth comb.
Aye, well, onward to Thursday. It's the next game, and I hope we can give ourselves a creditable performance, come back here with a creditable result. We're capable, yeah?
Yeah. Talking about credible, we couldn't find any more callers credible, so we've been joined by Big Stevie. Evening, big man.
How you doing, Troops? All right?
All right, mate. How we doing?
I'm brand new, mate. I'm just on the phone to talk to my wingman and wish him all the best. And get out there to the Gorgonzola, see the Troops. And his 88th European campaign. Can I speak to my wingman, please?
Yes.
All right, China.
Yes. You enjoy yourself, right? You know the drill about the duty-free, don't you?
I know. You get a receipt.
The Portuguese strips, yes. So, listen, mate, you go there and you give them hell, all right? I'm a busy man all day tomorrow, so I'll not be able to wave you off, okay? I'll miss you. Just bring us back a result. Will you?
I'm sure the Bells will do it.
And have a wee pie and think about me off time, okay?
I don't know if we get
I don't know if I can take any more of this bromance.
I know it's a bit of a love-in tonight. Hello, Stevie.
Oh dear.
It's called camaraderie and comradeship. Just let me tell you, that's what it's all about. We're home and away. Brilliant. And you go and enjoy yourself. And listen, don't listen to anybody Southside. The Rangers will do. By the way, see when the chips are down and we go, it's Benfica over expecting a down. That's when the Rangers pull through. Mm-hmm. The Rangers will pull through, by the way. A wee draw, a wee 1-each draw would be a great result. I'd bite the horn off you for it now. But get them back to Ibrox and we'll do our ideal high on them. We'll rip them and we'll tell them and we'll ring the bell. Come on, the famous.
It's letting it all go tonight, Linda.
I quite liked that wee bit he said there about the ideal high. That was good, Stevie.
Please. Danny Zuko and 11 Newton John, that's you, not.
You know,
we go together like shabba dabba 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 diggity diggy dog.
I'm looking forward to those summer nights, Linda.
Worst film I've ever seen.
I've got to say to you, Stevie, that was one of my favourite films. I might have seen it about 5 times when it was in the cinema.
Aye. Is that our man for Del Monte? Is that our man for Stirling on there with us?
Bob Jer, yes. Well, Bob Jer's far away.
Are you 7 miles out?
He's not far away.
Oh, you tell a Cutry out that direction?
Oh, well, that's another direction. I'm in Alloa, sir.
Alloa? Oh, you've got an apple tree. You're a top.
You only got a house here. You've got 28 holes in your arm.
You're not using the both sides of the toilet paper, that's for sure. When you phoned the police, they actually recommended us.
You get the Bengal answer.
Aye. Well, listen, I'll let you go. I'll let you carry on talking about the famous, but I just want to wish my wingman all the best and a safe journey along with every other bell that's gone there. Well done to yous, every one of yous. The amount of money you fork out.
Did you get that Airbnb sorted for us?
You've got to Blackpool.
Oh, didn't he go there?
Right, enjoy yourselves, troops. Wingman, all the best. They carry on now. You know what I'm talking about, right? It's your 88th campaign. They carry on. Just behave yourself. All right, over now. Big Stevie switching off for the night and he's Elvis onesie. Good night.
Cheers, big man.
Right, Elvis onesie.
I bet the South Side Toonies you're more about when he's about, eh?
Oh, brilliant, Elvis onesie.
Everybody thinks he's kidding.
He's all shook up tonight.
Dear oh dear. What's a man? What's a man? What's a man? When you're away Wednesday, Southside?
Wednesday, mate.
All right. Aye, he's got a good point. Enjoy your trip, mate. Enjoy your trip. I'm a wee bit jealous. So, aye, we're in, Bob, you had the point you made about we're into an interesting week. It's just time to get the sleeves rolled up and show an attitude. But we're running out of players, isn't we? And forward players.
Well, it's definitely a big week for the club again. They keep on coming in alarming regularity. And we'll go this lot on Sunday. And I think we can do them. Yeah, got a good result in Lisbon and do the Hibs on Sunday. Another good period for the club. Let's hope it turns out that way. By the way, Greece was the worst film I've ever seen in my life. But then again, damn it, is happening. I've seen it all these years ago. Never enjoyed it.
It wasn't the one that you wanted, Bob, no?
It wasn't the one that I wanted, no. I had a blast that summer, yeah. And I could run like Grease lightning.
Oh, well, as long as you weren't stranded at a drive-in.
No. I never had a girlfriend called Sandy. Right, enough.
I can go on all right, Bob, Jill, don't worry.
I could go on all right enough, Paul, but then again, I'm not able for that anymore. To go all right. I'd rather hear chicken supper. It lasts longer.
So, Bob Jill said it's a big night, a big week for the club. I think he's spot on, Linda. You know, nothing won or lost on Thursday night, but then it's a cup tie played to the finish, Easter Road, because there's no, I'm right when I say it, there's no replays, yeah?
No, I don't think there is any replays, Ox, nope. I think with Thursday night, Thursday night you just want to hopefully still be in the tie, don't you? Bring them back to Ibrox, bring them to Ibrox next week. We know what it's like when we play at home in Europe. It's a really special atmosphere. So let's hope they can get as a result, as I said, so that we're still in the tie. And then no more injuries as well. That's probably a given. And then Sunday, maybe Hibs will maybe come out and play a wee bit as well, Ox. You know, sometimes they like to attack and that should leave some space for us in behind. So, 4 games until that international break. And I think you're right, that's going to be quite welcome for us, Ox. sometimes we don't like the international breaks, but that gives you a couple of weeks to maybe get some more players back too.
Southside.
Listen, we've said it all along. It's important to the club, and it puts us back in the map in Europe, prestige-wise. But the most important thing is the league. We want to get back to winning the league, and if we can, we get into that Scottish Cup final, because at the moment we look like we could pick that up as well. So we've got to go for the 2 domestic cups that are left in Scotland and try and get that treble completed. But that gives you the boost into the Champions League, and it's a lot more money this year, and the format is going to be slightly different, because that's where you want to be, and that helps the club boost the finances, where it help with the financial fair play thing that we compete against and stuff like that. Aye, we'll be ready for it. Probably no, but we still want to be there and in it. So aye, we'll enjoy Thursday in Europa League and hope that we get to the last 8. But the most important thing is beating Hibs at Easter Road and then continuing against Dundee away in the league. That's what we've got to keep winning. That's the most important, I think, now for the club. That's the way I see it.
All right, mate. William.
Aye, we need to get out there, and we need to put on a good performance, keep it tight. As Linda says, we've got to stay in the tie, because they'll go for it. They're at home, they'll go for it. And I just hope by the time we get there, we'll get enough players to fill the jerseys. The way the injuries are mounting up, it's absolutely horrendous. But if we can keep it tight, get even a draw, we hope to win, even a draw and come back, and we can take them at Ibrox. I'm sure of that.
Craig, if you're listening, Southside isn't on Facebook, and also we can't get away tickets, mate. But if you want to give some away tickets, we'll take them, but we can't get any extra. Cheers, mate. Thanks for the message. And you come, Gary.
Aye, I think it's time that that in Europe and stuff, getting back to that Champions League, we started getting the real benefits of our kind of hard work. It seems to be we've done a lot of the graft, a lot of the spade work in Europe for the other side, at least financially, to more benefit from it. So it's by focusing on the league, then we're actually getting the spoils of the kind of coefficient points, which we've pretty much amassed kind of single-handed. So it's all about the league campaign, and it's we're into that home straight now, and it's just kind of, I think in the league it's going to get to a stage where it should just be rotation. We probably need to stop. We'll just need to roll the dice, put the strongest team out we can every week, and just go for it.
But I think that's difficult with potentially, I think it's 19 games. There's, let me get this right, 16, 8, 4, 7 games potentially, and it's potentially in Europe, 3 in the Scottish Cup and 9 league games left, Linda. So it's potentially 19 games. I don't think you're playing the same team for 19 games in a row.
No, and he's kind of made that point continuously, isn't he, Ox? Particularly when we're managing players that are coming off of injuries. He doesn't like to throw them in. He likes to manage them. He'll either bring them on, or he'll maybe start them after a couple of cameos, but maybe build up their overall match fitness. Because we're going to be in that position again when somebody like Matondo comes back and Cantwell comes back. He'll not throw them in right away, Ox, I don't think. And as I say, he's very, very careful around how he manages the players, and I don't think it's fair on them either, isn't it not? We've kind of ran players into the ground before, but as you said, it's a big period coming up, and it's just all about sort of rolling the sleeves up and getting stuck in, and just obviously just go with what we've got just now.
If I'm honest, even I thought Tav looked as if he was towing a caravan at the weekend. I thought he looked a bit jaded, Southside. I really did.
There was a few of them, as I said. I thought Diamonde, Lundstrom, Tav, Golson are the ones in Buckland, are the ones that don't get really rotated. obviously suitors came in and been playing a bit more regular, and obviously Redlands had more chunks of games. Only Borner's come in just recently there. And I think Borner will probably come back in and try and rest him at some point again. It probably will happen, and hope that next time he comes in he's a better game. Because we will have to rotate, and hopefully Cantwell will be coming back sooner than we hope. That'd be a good addition, and obviously Matondo can get himself fit and get him in. I've not heard much news. Did you play?
He's back on the grass, mate. He's back on the grass.
Aye. Well, he'll probably no want to fling him in, but you know what he's like. He'll be careful with him. But I suppose if we could get some time in, then it'd be good. But we just need to go with the players and hope that when he can rotate, he will rotate. But I hope he doesn't put too many players out of position the next time he picks the team up. He keeps them there in their positions and doesn't move them about all over the place, like having Sterling out wide right and McCausland out left. That didn't work, so he should have just played one of them. I probably played McCausland on the right and left it at that.
Maybe started with Silver, mate. Maybe.
Aye, well, he could have asked he'd play him on the left, didn't he?
Aye, maybe. Aye, interesting times, Bob Ger. Interesting times.
Very frustrating times. I mean, all these injuries we've got. And the fact that we could have went 5 points clear in that league. All we needed was a bridge man on Saturday. And I took the bad performance, but I also took the victory any time, of course. But hey ho, that's where the result favoured us yesterday. And that's another week of the fixtures away. I see these injuries, it's frustrating us all. I think we've got a pool of 24 players, and I think 10 of them are injured. Am I right there, Rock, with that stat? I don't know, no far away anyway. I just hope, as Linda says, when the international break comes, that we get everybody rested and ready to go when we come out the other side here. I need enough fully fit squad, because we're going to need it. Because as we say, the business end of the season is now near us. Now approaching, and we've got to be ready for it.
The mental thing is, Linda, every time it seems to have been, but one time, if you go back this time, about 18 months ago, we didn't have a fit centre half, and then this time it's all our creative players that seem to be having the problems, isn't it?
Yeah. We just seem to go through periods of time where it's certain areas of the park. It was the same, when we played in the Old Firm game at the New Year, Ox, we hardly had a fit midfielder. And we had, and then now we've got all the so-called creative players out. Cantwell, Danilo. Look at somebody like Danilo. He comes to this country, he gets the smashed cheekbone, we get him back, and then he's out with an injury that requires surgery. And
it was a tackle.
Yeah, aye.
Cantwell was an assault in the midfield. Yeah. McCausland's is a leg-breaking challenge.
Yeah. I mean, I think
absolutely.
That's what Clement was alluding to as well. When he talked about being kicked off the park, and he has actually said that a few times about the players being, some of the tackling, and it is actually quite it's a thing in Scottish football, isn't it? We don't seem to protect players as much as we should, and I know, it's part of football, but it just seems to be in this country you get more plaudits if you're able to go in and kick somebody upside down.
I told you, there was a whole season. Bridgeman touched the ball 3 times and get player of the season. You think I'm kidding? I'm no. I'm not right. Last word for your good self, William.
Great show, Docs, as usual. Doing a great job. And the panel, it's always great to hear Bob Ger and the guys and that, and just a great show. Thanks for taking my call. Keep up the good work. And all the best to the guys in the background, the techie guys.
Cheers, mate. Speak to you soon, mate. Cheers. Bob Ger.
Aye, thanks for having me yet again, Ox. Great show, as William says, brilliant.
We have to, Bob Ger. You're part of the furniture.
Absolutely. Yeah, definitely. And Grease is still the worst film I've ever seen. I'm not going to mention it again. Don't. And I do use bedside as the toilet paper. Right. Seriously, on we go to Thursday. Good luck, Rangers. Let's hope we can get organised. We're on a hard game on Thursday. Didn't take nothing to beat them getting beat 5-0. They'll be coming out. They're more than capable. They're Benfica, a big club. Let's get down. We've done well in Europe. Let's see how we go and bring a decent result back to Ibrox. And we'll go into the cup tie next week. So we'll roll on the international break, get some of the injuries cleared up. And that's me for the night. Thank you very much, Linda. Thank you very much, Ox. And we'll see you later, eh?
Cheers, Linda. Before it tonight, the Bob Cheers a booty school dropout, yeah?
Oh, I know, it's very disappointing. I'm gutted.
Cheers, Bob Jer. Gary, last word for yourself, mate.
Another brilliant show, great kind of conversation. Quick question before I go: is Borna still in the European squad, or did he get swapped out?
I believe he's still in it, mate. I believe he's still in it.
I'd play Barisic in Europe then, and rest Redban. Keep Redban for the domestic games. That's my wee last thought on that. But no, massive week coming up. I'm kind of fully confident. Let's just go for it, Rangers, and get this season right back on track.
Right, I want you to listen to this, Gary. Yeah.
Yep.
Don't hang up. Just go on mute. We'll speak to you after the show, right?
No bother, mate.
Right. Last word for your good self, Linda.
Great show tonight, Ox. Good being on with Southside and your good self, and lots of fantastic callers. Just Rangers, get us any kind of result on Thursday. Good luck to the team, and Southside, enjoy your trip.
Yes, cheers, Linda. Always good to hear from you. And I'll see if All School Blue put the pictures up on Facebook for everybody.
Cheers, Ox.
Southside.
Aye, no, been a good show the night, Ox. Good to get a good few callers on for a wee change and talk about the Glasgow Rangers and loads of things to talk about tonight. So roll on to Thursday. There'll be 3,250 bears in the official Rangers end on Thursday night, and there's thousands probably around about the stadium. So looking forward to Thursday night. Hopefully we'll get a famous win away from him. Nothing to fear, hopefully. Done well against Portuguese teams in the past. So let's do this. Let's do this, Rangers. So hopefully we'll put a name back in the map of Europe on Thursday night, mate, and then we'll get back to putting Hibs out the cup. So thanks for having us on. I appreciate it.
Always a pleasure, mate. Always a pleasure. Did you enjoy your tickling today, mate?
Aye, it was good, mate. Aye.
Well done, mate. Proud of you. Listen, thanks to Stuart who phoned us. Thanks to Gary. Thanks to Bob Jer. Thanks to William. And of course, thanks to the one and only Big Stevie for the drum. Thanks to Linda and Southside for doing the show. Fox and All School Blue for doing the technicals. Everybody for listening. This has been Rangers Radio. We'll be back tomorrow night with a mixture of young and old. Thanks for listening. Take it away, All School Blue.